Hi, this is Frank Butterfield, and I'm the author of the website 68secondvideo.com. So the question I get a lot is, how can I improve my visualization? And I am realizing that a lot of people don't understand that visualizing is actually not necessarily a visual act. Visualization is a word that we use that means I want to bring myself into alignment with a concept or a goal or a thing that I'm creating in my life, and I'm going to imagine that it's already happened, which then triggers, through the mechanics of the universe, triggers the law of attraction, and that begins to bring reinforcing experiences that will eventually bring this thing into physical manifestation, whatever it may be, an idea, a concept, a specific object, a type of relationship, whatever it is that you're focusing on. So we know that when we're focusing our pure positive thought on something that we're wanting to create, there's two aspects to it. One is the thing itself, and the second part is the feeling of having it. So for some people, the feeling of having it is going to be relief. Like, for example, if you're visualizing having more than enough money, and so you see yourself paying your rent or your mortgage and your car payment and your insurance, and then you have money left over, a really great feeling for that might be relief, because you have the feeling of relief of, like, I've gone from the place where I didn't want to be into the place where I want to be. It's a very clear signal to the universe of what it is that you're wanting. Another feeling might be joy, or a sense of accomplishment or satisfaction, or even control of, like, I'm feeling as though this is all unfolding exactly the way I want it to, and I love how it's working, and I love how the universe is happening, and I love how it's unfolding through me. So if you got that, that's great. Now, what about seeing yourself or imaging the thing that it is that you're wanting so that you can have a very clear focus on it? Well, visualizing, like I said, is just a word that we use that actually covers a whole bunch of things. And the act of bringing yourself into alignment with this object may take one of three different approaches. It could be visual, and this is based on your learning methods, how it is that you actually learn. And if you know whether you're a visual learner, you're an auditory learner, you're a kinesthetic learner, then you will know kind of the best way to meditate. So I want to go over those really quickly and just share this with you so that in case you're having a little trouble with this process, this will help you get much clearer about it. So let's talk briefly about the three methods of learning. Visual, that means you want to see something. You want to read a book, you want to see a map, you want to see a chart, you want to see someone doing the thing, or you want to see it played out in some way. Auditory means that you want to hear about it. You would rather hear someone read a book to you than read it yourself. So, for example, if you're somebody who really loves to listen to the radio or loves to listen to music over watching television, or when you're watching television, you're actually not watching it, you're listening to it in the background and you're moving around doing other stuff, that's actually a really big key that you're an auditory learner. The third type of learning is kinesthetic. And that means, for most people, it's hands-on learning. Kinesthetic learners are the kind of people who are like, get out of my way, I just want to sit down and do it myself. So if you're learning software, if you're learning how to operate something, how to use like a device, then a kinesthetic learner is going to be the one who turns on the machine and starts pressing buttons without reading the manual. Now, whether that's the right way to do it or not is another question completely, but that's an indication of kinesthetic learning. So, when you're doing your imagery, when you're doing your 68 seconds, you're going to probably do one of those three things. And if you're an auditory learner and you've been trying to visualize because the word visual is in the word visualization, then it's probably not been working for you. But as an auditory learner, one of the things you could do in your imagery is to actually hear, like imagine that someone is telling you the story of what it is that's happening, of what it is that you're creating, of the process that's unfolding, of the thing that is happening that you're wanting to bring forth into manifestation. If you're a kinesthetic learner, then you might want to imagine that you are, for example, if you're bringing a car into manifestation and that's what you're creating, You would want to see yourself behind the wheel and feel what it feels like to drive a car. If you saw The Secret, they actually did a really great little thing about that, where the guy's sitting in his chair and he's pretending that he's shifting gears, and suddenly the chair takes off and he's driving down the road in his chair, and it's like really cool. And then he gets out of the chair and he clicks his little button and it makes a sound as if he was locking the doors. So that's kinesthetic learning. That's a kinesthetic approach to this type of conceptualizing, lining up with the thing you're wanting to create. You also, and I think this is probably true for most people, you also may benefit from combining any of those together in some way that makes sense for you. Because the bottom line here is, whether you use this tool or you use another tool, it doesn't really matter. The truth is, you will create, if you start paying attention and you do what feels good and you pay attention to your inner guidance, the little nudges that you're going to get along the way, you will find the way that works for you. So for me, I'm a mix of visual and kinesthetic, but I also like a little auditory on the side. So for me, the best kind of conceptualizing is to see myself in the process. So if it was a car, I would want to see myself in the car, but it has to be me, in my body, in the car, driving down the road, enjoying the car, turning the signals, doing this, doing that. But I also would really benefit, and I've done this before, where then I kind of hear a narration that says, and now the car is doing this, and now it's coming to me easily, and that really kind of engages everything for me. And you may have some combination of that, something that's similar or something that's different. If you play with these, you will find something that feels really good and that works for you. So I hope you've enjoyed this and gotten something out of it, and I really appreciate your support on the 68secondvideo.com website. And for everybody who watches these YouTube videos, it's just awesome to get feedback from you, so be sure to drop me an email when you get a chance. Again, this is Frank Butterfield, and I've really enjoyed this little conversation, and I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful day.